This is a list of some things people may not know about life in South Florida. When I say South Florida, I mean the eastern part, not the western part, which is Naples and Fort Myers. Basically, there is no central South Florida. That's the Everglades, and that's the home of the Miccosukee and Seminole Indians. So I'm talking about South Florida East, which is more or less Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Okay, this is a list of some things you may not know about living in South Florida. Nobody wears boots, specifically cowboy boots, because when you're not working, everybody's wearing shorts, and boots look kind of stupid with shorts. You really need long pants. So I bought a pair of boots in Mexico decades ago. I never wore them. They're too hot to wear boots. So forget boots. You're moving to South Florida, throw your boots away or give them away. South Florida, I came here in the early 1960s. This was not a place to come to for jobs. There were jobs, all low paying. And you know what? Here in 2019, it's still the same way. Yeah, there's jobs, low paying jobs. Your high-tech programming skill, they don't want it here. Maybe a few places, but basically you're going to be out of luck. You're into manufacturing. There's not that much manufacturing here. So this is still not a place to come to get a job. Another thing is South Florida is not a retirement area. You say, well, you got all that sun and the beach. Come on, that's got to be retirement. Well, here's the problem with South Florida as a retirement area. The houses are expensive. The real estate taxes are high. Homeowners insurance is through the roof because of hurricanes. Now, it's not like up north where if you have a patio, so you fill it with patio furniture, right? Well, don't fill your patio with patio furniture down here in South Florida, because in a hurricane, it's all going to blow away. So you have to have minimalist patio furniture. Just enough so you can bring it inside the house during a hurricane. But if you got all these swings and trampolines, good luck getting that all in the house for a hurricane. If you don't, it's all going to blow away. And we have hurricanes here, okay? Well, everybody knows that. But they're different than tornadoes in Kansas. Tornado touches down and moves along for a while and then goes back up in the sky. And the width of it is not that great. Okay, it's destructive. I feel sorry for the people. But hurricanes can be miles wide. And they don't touch down and then go back up in the sky. They stay on the ground and they just keep moving until they dissipate out at sea. Another thing about South Florida people may not know is we have never had the Rust Belt syndrome, where we had a big manufacturing area suddenly disappear, like steel or autos. Never had that. There is not one big industry in South Florida, except maybe the cruise line business. So we've never had our Rust Belt syndrome. South Florida is no place for building houses. You want to come down here and you want to build houses for a living, okay. But the problem with building houses in South Florida is that we are boxed in by the Everglades. There's only so much land, and it's just about exhausted already. So home building is not something to come down here to practice. Home repair, yes. Building, no. Also, here in South Florida, we have the most expensive seafood in the country. There's no doubt about it. At Joe's Stone Crab on Miami Beach this year, for a plate of jumbo stone crabs for one person was $90. Of course, you got hash browns with it, so that took some of the sting out of it. Another thing about South Florida is we are the cruise capital of the world. So if you want to go on a cruise anywhere in South Florida within an hour, you can be on the ship having your first drink. Another thing about South Florida, you have to drive 4 to 5 hours going north before you will experience a hill, and that'll be in Central Florida. Another thing is, if you dig down, so you got your property, you dig down just a couple of feet, that's as far as you're going to go, because you're going to hit coral rock. That's why here in South Florida, we don't have any basements in homes or in office buildings. Air conditioning. Air conditioning is the wonderful thing that made South Florida livable. Before air conditioning, only blue-collar service workers stayed in South Florida because they were broke. Everyone else fled to get away from the heat and the humidity of summer. Another thing about South Florida, most major intersections have at least 2 gas stations, 2 banks, a Walgreens or CVS, and a supermarket. And I'm aware of this because when I travel, I go to places like Philadelphia where I can't even find a gas station. So there are plenty here. In Miami, during the holidays, any supermarket, you can order a whole roast pig and have it roasted for you. The equivalent of Louisiana Hot Sauce here in South Florida is mojo sauce. Louisiana Hot Sauce, you kind of put it on your food after it's cooked. Mojo sauce you use for cooking. Another thing about South Florida, drivers hit a lot of people on bicycles. And also, we don't like pedestrians here. When we see pedestrians on the street, we will put down the window of the car and throw something at them. Now, you want to go to Miami Beach. You want to park your car. There's parking spaces on the beach. You'll never find one. So what does it cost you on Collins Avenue on the beach to park your car? It's $40 plus a tip. Those are just some of the little facts about South Florida.